You know, sometimes it's not about talent, it's about where you actually play. Like, football history is full of guys who looked average in one role, then switched positions and suddenly, boom, all-time great. And it's kind of wild when you think about it, because if a manager doesn't take that gamble, we maybe never get some of the biggest legends of the game. I mean, a left-back turning into a Champions League final hero, a tricky winger becoming the most clinical striker in the world. Yeah, it happens. So today we're counting down the top 5 players who changed positions and became absolute legends. So believe it or not, Bale wasn't always the flying winger smashing screamers from 30 yards. He actually started out as a left back at Southampton and then Spurs. And honestly, he looked average. Like, he went on this ridiculous run of games without ever winning when he started. Total flop territory. But then Harry Redknapp pushed him forward and suddenly, boom, everything clicked. The pace, the power, the left foot. Defenders couldn't live with him. That 2010 Champions League masterclass against Inter Milan, that was the moment Bale arrived. From a struggling fullback to one of the most dangerous attackers in world football, and eventually a £100 million move to Real Madrid. That position change literally defined his career. Now, Lahm was already world class as a fullback, Mr. Consistency, the guy Pep Guardiola literally called the most intelligent player he'd ever coached. But then Pep did something wild. He moved Lahm into midfield, and it worked perfectly. Suddenly, he wasn't just shutting down wingers, he was dictating games, controlling the tempo, starting every attack. His awareness, his positioning, his passing, it all translated seamlessly. That switch helped Bayern dominate. It made Lahm even more influential, and by the time Germany lifted the 2014 World Cup, he'd proven himself as one of the most complete players of his generation. From world-class fullback to world-class midfielder, and a legend either way.
So, here's one that really changed the course of a career. Schweinsteiger actually started out as a winger, quick, direct, decent on the ball, but he wasn't exactly setting the world on fire. He looked like a solid wide player, nothing more. But then, around 2009, Bayern shifted him into central midfield, and everything changed. Suddenly, his vision, passing range and leadership just exploded. He became the heartbeat of Bayern, dictating games with that calm authority. And let's not forget 2014, the World Cup final. He put in one of the most legendary midfield performances ever, basically running through walls to drag Germany to the trophy. From winger to world-class midfield general, that position switch turned Schweinsteiger into a legend.
So here's the thing, Thierry Henry at Juventus was struggling. He was stuck out on the wing and yeah, he had pace, but he just wasn't effective. Looked like another talent who might fade away. Then Arsene Wenger stepped in at Arsenal and said, "You're not a winger, you're a striker." And that decision changed everything. Henry's speed, his movement, his finishing, they all came alive through the middle. The result? He became Arsenal's all-time leading scorer, a 2-time Premier League champion and the face of the Invincibles. That one positional switch turned him from a misfit at Juve into a Premier League legend and one of the greatest strikers the game has ever seen. Messi's switch might be the most influential in football history. He started out as a right winger, hugging the touchline, dribbling past defenders, cutting in on that left foot. Already brilliant, but then Pep Guardiola changed everything. Pep dropped him into the middle as a false nine, part striker, part playmaker, and suddenly Messi wasn't just scoring goals, he was dictating the entire game. The movement, the link up with Xavi and Iniesta, the sheer unpredictability. Defenders had no idea how to stop him. From there, he evolved even further, drifting deeper, almost becoming a midfielder while still smashing goal records. That switch didn't just create a legend, it redefined modern football. Now, of course, there are plenty more players who made huge position changes, like Sergio Ramos, who started out as a right back at Sevilla before moving to centre back and becoming one of the greatest defenders ever, or Andrea Pirlo, once a number 10, reinvented as a deep line playmaker, a regista, and and suddenly running games with elegance at Milan and Juve. Then there's Robin van Persie, who began his career as a winger before Arsene Wenger pushed him up front, where he became a Golden Boot winner and a Premier League champion. And of course, Joelinton, signed as a striker at Newcastle, written off as a flop but transformed into a dominant, all-action midfielder under Eddie Howe. And there you have it, 5 players whose careers completely changed thanks to one position switch. From Messi's false nine masterclass to Joelinton's midfield rebirth. These changes created legends. I'm Ranking Reporter, dropping new videos daily. So make sure to like, subscribe and comment which position change you think was the most iconic.